Good morning. Good morning, Alpo. Higher ground. You guys ready for another exciting day? Hopefully, we get another play like yesterday, but it's probably doubtful. They do happen about once a month, from what I've been seeing. We have about 6 minutes to go before market opens. You are welcome. Good morning, Jay. Doesn't look like much is happening yet this morning. Of course, we're not open yet, so we'll see. Like I was mentioning in earlier streams, that 7 o'clock hour, shortly after that is when that stock started jumping up, probably around 7:30, somewhere around that time. That's why I prefer 7 o'clock pre-market better than 6 o'clock open. See, we haven't even got started yet. We already have one spiking on the board. But we can't determine direction till it opens. Looks like an earnings report for NVAX. Jay, I haven't had time yet. I was so busy yesterday. I got a construction call, had to leave. So today I'll focus back on the microphone issue. Get Discord going here. All right, Discord is live, but no sound. The sound's going to be over here still in YouTube. I'll get it all figured out. It just takes time. This kind of setup is new to me, just like these indicators are new to you. We're all still learning. Good thing is we all get to grow together. We have another minute to go here, minute 10 seconds. Remember at market open, we're going to be watching the V spike indicator for anything that moves. Good morning, Bob. And here we go. NVAX is pulling back. It had earnings. I did not read it. I'm not interested in reading it. If it's good earnings, then we're going to see a positive volume up here. And we're not seeing that. But it could just be profit takers. They may have been assuming it was good and got in early. I'm watching the spike numbers here for anything that's growing. Looks like the pre-orders are just leveling out. Nobody really jumping on any particular stock. I'm also watching down here in the all stock scan to see if anything's going to start moving in that scan. Cheap penny stock on the move, possibly. I don't play penny stocks, but you might. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Freddie. Rodriguez. Still nothing looks promising yet. Not seeing anything on either scan yet. Looks like this morning we're going to be waiting on that 7 o'clock hour to see if anything fires. Good morning, Bob Smith. Let me make sure I have my V spike indicator on 0. I did not check that this morning, and I don't. Let's make it 0. And click apply and OK. That makes it a lot more sensitive to anything that moves. Doesn't look like we missed anything. These 7.17%, I don't even check them until they start running. But if you see that small percentage start running, that's the time to grab it right at the bottom. Continually watching these spike numbers. That's all we do. Another penny stock trying to move. Watching the numbers here. When I see something running over here, I'm also looking down in this current bar to see if the volume is spiking, and it's not. Even though it says 83% buyers, it could only be 2 or 3 people playing the stock. This alone does not mean it's spiking. You have to watch this current volume bar. The numbers are to be ticking by fast. The more volume, the better the play, the more confirmed the direction would be. Another penny stock popping up. You can see the current volume bar on that penny stock is really flying. That's what you want to see on every stock. It's all about volume. Concentrate on volume. Want to see a lot of buyers, a lot of volume in the Isn't it nice to wake up and you didn't even have to do any homework last night looking for stocks? You just sit here and the stocks come to you. I think I turned it into a video game. Who can click on the spike that's moving the fastest? Continuing to monitor the spike numbers. Nothing is really growing or standing out. Can you imagine when there's 10,000 of us and we're all seeing the same stock spiking and we all click on it and we all buy it and there's 10,000 of us buying 1,000 shares? What do you think that's going to do to that stock? Especially in pre-market when we're actually can move the price. It's not cheating, we're just a community using our tools. I guess that's the day we become market makers. I agree. Why everybody needs to help build this channel. We're giving away everything for free. There's no reason not to come over. We've proven the system works. What more could a person need? Watching this bottom scan, the all stock seems to be loading up, but I don't see anything interesting yet. I've seen stocks start down here and then all of a sudden jump up here to the pre-market. Nothing making a move yet. Bob, did we reach 900? I haven't looked. The RVOL is a custom script. I'll make sure it's up there on Discord. It means how many times the volume is greater than previously. So if RVOL says 1.4, then it's 1.4 times higher than previous. So it's actually a volume counter overall. So this stock here would have 22 times the volume. And it's probably relevant just by looking at it. You can see here it was probably flat, and then here's where the 22% higher volume came in. We're getting there, Bob. So the RVOL stands for relative volume, relative to previous volume. So this current stock I have selected has an RVOL of 5.26. It doesn't specify a direction, but the stock has fallen, so the volume has increased 5.26 negative. So this RVOL is not a directional indicator. It's just letting you know, hey, there's more volume over here than recent. This is the same stock we saw earlier at 42 cents when it first triggered at market open. It's gone from 42 to 70 cents. Since market open, maybe prior to our market open, it's currently up 138%. Good job, Bob. $73 might buy breakfast. Looks like the market's calming down for the moment. Yeah, definitely don't trade off of my screen. YouTube, it has a lag to it. Sometimes it's 5 seconds, sometimes it's 15 seconds. Make sure you do all trading off of your own computer. You should be watching these numbers because it's going to spike on your computer before. These live streams are only to show you how to set it up, how the indicators work. They're not for trading off of. You see VVOS spiked earlier, and I continually say don't stop watching them until the run is over. This is only letting you know about the spike. It disappears and comes back, disappears and comes back. You can see this penny stock is still on the move. Every now and then, this over here in the V spike area, it'll drop down and do nothing and kind of disappear. And when they start buying or selling again, it'll pop back up. Look at that penny stock go, would you? From 42 cents all the way up to 76. It's now at 173%. Couple of profit takers. I don't trust them because I don't trust penny stocks because it's sometimes some of these guys been pumping them over in the penny stock forums, and you never know if all of a sudden they're pumping it up and then all of that group bails out on you and you lose a lot of money. It can drop 50%. I've seen them drop even more than that in one candle. To me, a penny stock would be even a quicker in and out than trading a regular stock that's above $3 or $4. This one appears to be pretty strong though. Whenever we have a spike in a stock, that stock is going to be very slim. Would you buy a stock that was falling drastically? Well, the short lying, he's not going to get in. He's going to lose his money, especially if it keeps going. So we pretty much eliminate the short seller. And the only pullbacks you're going to see is the guys taking profit. Good morning, Brian. Good luck. So a lot of fear has been taken out because we're watching when all the buyers are coming in and when the short sellers don't want to enter. This would be profit takers here. But you always have the profit taker, the guy that's been sitting. There could be that guy there waiting. That's why when I scalp, I get in, and as soon as I see negativity, I'm out. If I have to get back in again, I'll get back in again. If you're not on the Discord channel, that's a good thing to go. A lot of stocks being posted, a lot of help if you need help. We have a great group of people. Everybody complimenting everybody, everybody writing scripts. It's all good. Pretty quiet on the spike. Both watch list. Bob, do you have auto send selected and you're immediately out when you click the button? So we've had one mover right out the gate. Well, actually two, but VVOS, I'm going to say, was the strongest one. It's actually holding its price. It may have more to come, it may not. Way we determine that is if it starts spiking again. So NVAX had a earnings report this morning. Doesn't look like it was impressive according to the chart. I'm just looking down here. When I click on a stock, it changes to their news. It does that because I have green selected on all of my tabs. They're all going to be produced in the same area. We have no spikes now. That's the VIX moving up. That tells me the SPY is moving down. The VIX is always opposite of the SPY. VVOS is still trying. Retesting the high that's right here. It breaks that high. It may continue to go further. Been rejected twice already. Good morning, Harleys. I'm still waking up here. I'll get there. This coffee's going down smooth. Pretty calm this morning. Now's the time to go fill your coffee cup up. It's all quiet, waiting on the next move. That is correct, Bob. If it's halted, it was halted because there was too much volume. So when it halts, all of the orders that are still pending will execute. The orders that were pending before the halt will execute. That's why when a stock halts and it resumes, it can fall in either direction. Buddy, make sure that the time in your pre-market scan is set to 1 minute. I had a link up there and I must have put it up there when I was testing 2 minute. So you may have downloaded it before I corrected the pre-market link. Just make sure it's on 1 minute and save it. Actually, everybody should check their pre-market scan and make sure it's not sitting on 2 minutes. Yeah, I did some house cleaning, Bob. I also put it where you could not make a comment in that area. That's what was messing everything up. It seems that everybody wants to make comments in every channel. I'm still learning which ones I need to disable comments in. I'm still trying to get people to post questions in the support channel. I'm still having to scroll through all of the channels to try to find the questions that people are asking me. And if the question is directed at me, I prefer everyone post them in the support where I can just go to one question, scroll through them, get them answered instead of having to search for them. Good morning, Tamimi. Updated as far as changing them or updated as far as them refreshing? That's what I didn't know. I don't ever change the scans and they refresh every 5 minutes approximately. I don't know that exact time. Thank you, Blue. Those scans update automatically. You shouldn't have to refresh any scan unless you want to. I mean, if you want to know that your scan is fresh, go in there and hit the scan button. But otherwise, things really don't change that much in 5 minutes. To me, 5 minute refresh is fine. I mean, I've never been able to come up with the correct refresh time. I've even asked TD Ameritrade, and they told me 7 to 8 minutes, which I knew was wrong. I think most of the support guys on TD Ameritrade, they're book readers and they're just repeating what the book says. I don't think they actually trade. They don't really know the correct answer. Tamimi, do you know if it was consistent from day to day? Actually, we're probably having an irrelevant discussion because I have never had an issue with it. Waiting on that 7 o'clock hour to see if anything happens. We did pick up on VVOS at 42 cents. We watched it grow almost 100% since it went off in the spike area. Some of you could play it. I don't play penny stocks, but that was a good one. That one just popped up. The spread is high at times. Watch out for the spread. It's turning red. Could cost you some money just getting in. If you click it and their spread is 25 cents and you bought 1,000 shares, you're immediately down $250. Set it to your maximum. I only want to spend or buy a stock if the spread is below 10 cents, a nickel. You can go into your edit studies and click the gear and put your amount in there. It's currently set at 9 cents for me. I don't get in stocks like this if the spread is jumping from 15 cents to 50 cents because you never know when you click the button. Every tool that's on your screen is very important. You got to keep an eye on things. It's jumping up to 23 cents. I've actually tried to click at the same time it went to green and failed. It can change that fast. No problem. I think that's how TD Ameritrade makes a lot of money and we don't pay for making trades. If you'll watch that spread, when that price is rising, that spread will increase. They will also increase that spread if it's falling because they don't want you getting in at the bottom either. They don't do that on every stock. This stock was probably thinly traded, and it could be some pump and dumpers in here, and the algorithms picked up on it, and all of a sudden here goes the spread trying to slow it down. On a normal trading stock, you won't see spreads jump that much. I'll buy a stock if the spread is like a penny or a nickel and it's not jumping higher than that nickel. That tells me it's steady volume, not just a bunch of people coming in and pumping something up. I mean, this looks very tempting, don't get me wrong, but if you jump in at the wrong time and you hit a wrong spread at the same time they're selling, see that spread's up to 14 cents. At 1,000 shares, if you click the button, you're down $140 you have to make up. When it's going back and forth in colors, that says danger. $0.22 spread, 16. So do you chance trying to get in? I don't. I just soon look the other way. You can see the prices falling and they're hitting it in both directions. There was a 32-cent spread. 34. While you're watching this stock you don't want to buy, watch this list over here. Patience is the key. It's okay to miss the good ones. I miss a lot of them. I should have bought more of yesterday's stock that was spiking, but I didn't. But I was very happy with what I earned. See, we didn't have the spread red bar going off on that stock yesterday. You call it insane, I call it lovely. What's good about those once a month spikers like that, if you're sitting on a lot of cash, you can pretty much make a month's pay if you can buy enough shares when that happens. One trade for a month's pay. If you have a small account, build it up slowly. You'll get there sooner than you think you will. Each day you earn $50 or $20, that's more money you have to spend the next time you trade. I think the guy that made 20, he actually posted his winnings over in the winning trades on Discord. Yeah, back road, it was a penny stock. We had one VVOS jumped up 142%. We found it at 42 cents. It went up almost 100% from the time the spike went off. This one here, it has since pulled back. Yeah, it hit about $60 from $4. Actually, the V spike went off at $3.75. That's when I clicked on it, and we watched it run all the way up to $60. It took about 20 minutes to get that high, but I don't think anybody was worried about how long it took. We'll be talking about the next one sooner or later. Just be ready. I make it a rule not to spend more than half of my account in one day if I'm doing heavy trading. I always like to have at least half of my account available. We have about 5.5 minutes to go before the 7 o'clock hour. At that time, be ready to watch the spikes. Watch them on your computer if you're going to trade. Morning, Robert. Good morning, Gregster. Yeah, I think AMC's starting to make a little bit of money now that COVID's out of the way. I went out to eat last Saturday and looked over toward the theater, and the parking lot was full. About 3 more minutes to go before the 7 o'clock hour. No spikes on the board. As soon as I said that, one started moving. Got to keep your eyes over there. See this spike? We caught it right at when it started moving. Continually watch the spread. Don't get stung. It's coming down on my tick chart. The 8 is below the 21 on my tick chart. One minute to go before the 7 o'clock hour. So we're picking up the slightest movement when the stock starts moving right here in the pre-market. Anything that moves is going to be right up here at the top. If you're not sorted by V-spike, you need to do that. You need to bring them all up to the top. Yeah, I'm using the 133 and I'm using version 2 of the pullback indicator. Version 4 does not work with a tick chart, but version 2 does. The tick chart does determine my entry. Once I'm in, the 5-minute chart is the one I use to continually watch. All of my entries and exits are determined by the tick chart. You can still do it on the 5 minute. You can still do it on the 1 minute. I prefer the tick chart because it's a lot faster. I may save a few pennies more than the guy using the 1 minute. I may have a more accurate call if it's going up or down by looking at the tick chart than the guy using 1 minute or 5 minute. But you still see the same thing that I see if you watch the end of that candle where the price is moving. It's just that the tick chart kind of defines it a little bit more than just looking at a candle on a 5 minute chart. I'll switch over to my tick chart so you can see what I'm talking about. That is my tick chart. Another penny stock on the move. BURU. Not seeing anything promising coming up here. Just that one penny stock. Watching the V spike indicator to see if anything pops up. This one's not moving. That's why I don't trade penny stocks. How do you lose 50% of the previous candle? On a penny stock, that's a lot of money. I would be waiting for a volume spike and I'd be watching my tick chart. I don't buy anything unless it has a good volume spike. And you have to catch it as soon as it pops up on your V spike indicator. You want to get in as soon as you can. I have the V spike set to 0.0 for pre-market. I want to know when the stock first starts moving. Continually monitor these spikes. You never know when it's going to happen. And I can assure you, when you turn your head or walk away, that's when it happens. Nice climb on this penny stock. All of you penny stock players ought to be loving it this morning. That's the second one. Yeah, you want to see those numbers climbing, Bob. Continually watching this. It just cleaned itself up. The only thing that happened when 7 o'clock rolled around was one penny stock moved. Keep in mind, this is a dead market. Hasn't been doing anything for over a year or two. But we're pulling out the ones that are moving. Gregster, if you go to the YouTube channel, the one that says Mastering the Pullback Indicator, it has the entire setup in the first comment below the video. You have to click Read More. The indicators are there, and I've shared my desktop there. I will move it over to Discord later, trying to keep both sides equal. Yeah, the market's down, but we've had two plays. You're welcome, Gregster. Back road. So back to your question. So the tick chart shows orders and size in real time. Yes, it does. Everything is real time. I don't trade off the tick chart though. I only make a decision to enter and exit. I actually trade off of my 5 minute chart. Thank you, Gregster. Spread is low. It's a thinly traded stock. I don't see any previous data that was worthy of saying, why is this stock moving? It's a therapeutic stock. I just look for keywords in the title. I don't read news. Uh, the word granted is just a keyword for me. They were awarded something. I could care less about the fine print. I just look for keywords, positive news, accepted, granted, promoted. It's usually in the title. That's what draws attention. You heard me say this stock was thinly traded. I don't see any reason for it to be moving, and this is what happens. Look back here, it was flat all day yesterday. This is clearly a pump and dump. I don't look for a certain volume, I look for rapidly coming in volume. I watch these numbers. That's all I do. I want to see the stock numbers, these percentages. I want to see them take off. After it's taking off, then I observe the chart quickly. Look what it did the day before. Why is it moving? Does it have news right here? Is the spread too wide? Is it bearish? Is the buyers outnumbering the sellers? Everything on this screen is very important. So I try to color code it green or red. I look for colors more than I look for numbers. If I look up and see all green, I can make that determination very quickly if I want to get in or not. I'm seeing red up here, that's a no-no. Red down here. This stock looks good for some people. For me, it doesn't. I also look at price. When it's going only pennies, like $1.70 to $1.73, I'm not interested. I want to see 10 cents between the numbers and the price. Bob, that sounds like something old people say. price range so far. Always watching the numbers. Nothing draws my attention away from here unless I'm in a play. When you see a bullish on the spike and a red candle, that bullish was the buyers coming in. You can see the buyer tail at the bottom. So just because it's red and you get bullish over here doesn't mean it's not moving up. If you're watching a 5-minute chart, you have to pay attention to the wicks. Top wicks are sellers, bottom wicks are buyers. These are the buyers trying to come in. They're trying to buy up what they're selling. Some of you may prefer the 1-minute chart better. This is what the 1-minute chart looks like. We'll try it on the 1-minute chart for a while. You need to get used to both time frames. Nice jump there. People have came in, they're buying it up. I'm watching the volume. It's not really that great. It's like just a few people maybe coming in. If you think about it, a guy like me coming in and buying 5 or 10,000 shares, there could only be 20 people buying this much volume. See you later, Bob. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, small position size. Just ease your way in. Don't try to trade like I do. I've been doing it for a long time. Just if you trade small share size, say 100 to 500 shares, just come in at 50 at a time or 100 at a time. That way, if you're wrong, you don't lose as much. This stock is retesting the high, it looks like. If it fails, we'll probably get a pullback. It may try to retest the high again. It did fail. EURU is retesting the high, could pull up from here if it can break through. It did not break through, rejected again. Really rejected this time. That means somebody saw it get resisted at the high and said, I give up. They took their profits, and we get a big red candle. Now we have other people looking at it, say, okay, it's pulled back. Maybe I should get in. So we watch over here on the V spike, see if it turns positive. Another cheaper stock, I'm looking over here at the previous day's movement. I don't like stocks that did nothing and then all of a sudden they're spiking. There's a big pump risk there. You can slip in and slip out, make some money, more power to you. There's the high. I'll go ahead and mark it. We have a pullback. We're watching the 1 minute chart. It's more detailed than the 5, may be easier for some of you. While that one's falling, I'm watching the spike numbers. Nice climb on GRRR. Looks strong on the tick chart. GRRR actually made a earlier move down in this area. So it's very important when you've seen one previously that made a move, create a personal watch list and keep track of them in the personal watch list with the V-spike indicator on them, and you can continue to monitor them without switching from stock to stock. Because I don't trade these cheaper stocks, I didn't put it in my list. If you would have, you would have seen the next spike and the next spike. Build your list as these things are popping up in the morning. Watching my numbers. You can clearly see GRRR is still moving. It's at a new high. Starting to pull back on the tick chart. That's a pretty hard pullback. That's why I don't like cheaper stocks. But it's one to keep in your personal watch list. This may just be another bottom like these two red candles and may later pull back up. It may break this high again. While I'm talking, I missed this one. We're back to this stock did almost absolutely nothing yesterday. A bunch of non-traded areas in the chart where it just sat dormant. We are getting activity, but they're all cheaper stocks. We've had some of them 100%. Good morning, Bob. I'll have a breakfast burrito. You look for keywords in the news titles, you see positive, reaches. All you have to do is look for keywords, they'll move a stock. Don't have to read the article, just the titles. I don't think so, Robert. I don't think anything's accurate over there other than allowing you to click when you should click to get in and click when you should click to get out. That part's pretty accurate. As far as the money earned in on demand, I don't think it's accurate. Nice climb on Silo. 60-cent climb on a $3 stock. You said paper trade. I don't have it set up even. So it may work in paper trading. I've never tried it. If you try it, please let me know. Strong pullback on Silo. They must not have liked the news that much. This was probably anticipation of good news. Now somebody probably actually read it. Not going to do so much teaching this morning's stream. You can watch yesterday's video for the teaching. I'll just give you the brief as we're watching volume spikes when they take off. We look over at the stock to see if it's an entry point or not. We watch for the crossover in the green arrows. So volume spike, crossover, green arrows. We're watching for the volume spike in this candle, and we're watching for buyers and sellers down here. Our main focus is right here on this V spike. As the old people say, we're finding needles in a haystack this morning. Except we don't have to look for them, they're coming to us. Do you guys realize I have made Thinkorswim do all of the work for you other than clicking the button? Watching the spikes. Silo's trying to make another move. I don't know that I would trust it at this point. It couldn't hold its high. I don't see any numbers rapidly rising. If you're shorter, you would be looking for numbers rapidly falling. Thank you, Blue. It is one of my better creations. It sure is. And I love candy, but I love money more. You know, the Thinkorswim community is a community of sharing. I think putting a patent on anything that I did is kind of not the way I want to go with it. I don't care that other people steal it, go use it on their platforms. Everybody knows where it came from. Most of the other people that are using it, they're not teaching it, they're just using it. I just more than I do about trying to charge somebody. Every time I've given something out, it seems like I'm rewarded a lot more at the end. I think the only problem I see is everybody was creating indicators and stuff based on what happened in the past. I think I'm one of the first, other than these scanners like Trade Ideas, started concentrating on volume. And to me, it's just a buyers and sellers battle. That's why I focused on trying to write a script that would separate the buyers from the sellers. At the beginning, it was hard because that data is not available. And then I said, well, what about if the candle's falling? What if I create that as negative volume? And if it's rising, that would be positive volume, which is equal to buyers and sellers. Then I could build an indicator based on that fact. And that's how I created the V spike indicator. By concentrating on the candle going down, how many shares were traded when it was going down versus how many shares are traded when it's going up. and then breaking that into a percentage and subtracting each one from each other to see which one was more dominant and posting that number in an indicator. That's how the V spike was born. Another penny stock might be on the move here. Or we could have just missed it. I'm reading the chat. Could have took off way more sooner than I saw it. It's all about concentration. You get distracted, you could miss out. I'm still trying to find that equal balance between running a stream and concentrating on trading. Yesterday made up for my slack time. I did good. But I'm still trying to focus in both directions, streaming, watching chat. And when I'm talking and doing things, you should be nothing but watching that V spike indicator. You should be trading off of your own platform. Don't rely on the screen that may have a delay and cost you money. After this indicator was developed, I started concentrating on putting it on the screen. And that's where the pullback strategy was born. This data is actually working in here to create these arrows. That data is moving these two moving averages. It just all works together. It's all one continuous script. The little indicator, the spike you see up here, is part of this script. These buyers and sellers you see down here is part of this script. Everything is tied in together. I just have to work the numbers differently, like this one's comparing overall volume by this script. This one is looking at the volume in the one candle. The current candle is all it's looking at. That's why these numbers are different than these numbers. This indicator being born took us a long ways. Coming up on the 8 o'clock hour in about 10 minutes. This one's slowly moving. It may be the next one. Indicators have crossed. We've got green arrows. We don't have the volume supported yet. We only had 57,000 shares traded on the last candle. I want to see this number really getting after it. We have sellers involved. We don't have a spike. It does show bullish because it is moving up, but it did not move up. Gigi, watch the video that is called Mastering the Pullback Strategy. If you look in the first comment below the video, if you watch the video, I start from the very beginning of creating a black screen on your Thinkorswim and you build it from there. You're not going to get the screen you're seeing on the stream. It's all going to be contained on one screen on your computer. I have this broken up into sections for teaching purposes. You can actually set it up like this. You just have to detach your windows by clicking here and clicking detach, and you can resize them. So bring up each window, like bring up your watch list, detach it, size it, pull it up on another monitor, detach your chart, resize list if you have an extra monitor. You can detach your news. Just make sure that the color is not selected and there's not a symbol in it. And you get the news, you detach it over on the left where you have that little pop-in watch list window. The news is at the top. You would uncheck the color, erase any stock symbols. Then you'd go up here, click that, and detach it and move it over to where you need it. I love having multiple monitors. I'm looking at a total of 5. I don't have to click on anything. I can see it all. Barbara, if you're on Discord, it's over in Toss Scripts. If you're not in Discord, you really need to join it. There's a big community over there that can help you out if you have questions. I have a lot of scripts over there off of my computer. Don't use a lot of them, but somebody might find interest in them. The watch lists are not referenced, but there is a pre-market video and it'll show you how to set up the pre-market scan. There's a video on setting up my watch. It'll walk you through setting up the market watch tab in your Thinkorswim, creating one huge watch list out of it, and then you just change the tab once you're watching the watch list. You can switch to whichever scan you want to monitor on that one watch list. It's very important you watch all of the videos. I continue to preach that. Everything I've put out has some value. You are quite welcome. Not much happening at the moment. This one is moving a little bit. You don't have the Discord link, I'll paste it here in the chat box. If you don't have the YouTube link and you're new here, this is the YouTube link to the channel to go watch all the videos. Please like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of new postings. We're at that 8 o'clock hour. I'm not seeing any spikes. This is normally where those who are in profit will take their profits before market open in fear of losing what they have built up. I have the option to. I used to short stocks all the time. For some reason, I started feeling guilty about it. I mean, the economy's suffering. I kind of felt like I was driving the companies down even further. So I slacked way back on shorting. I have a guilty feeling about that. Captain, make sure it's on 1 minute. You may have downloaded the link where I was testing the 2 minute chart, and you may be set on 2 minute. And if you have the V-Spike loaded in the pre-market scan, make sure you're sorted by clicking on the V-Stock title and bring them all up to the top. Seeing a bit of activity, but nothing positive. Do you have I may have my prices different than yours in your scan. I think mine are at 25 cents and I don't have no maximum. I'll double check that for you. So my price in the pre-market is 0.25 for minimum, no maximum. My volume is set to 20,000. My after hours percent change is 2% on 1 minute with extended hours checked. You can take off the $30 if you want, Captain. That way you can monitor the higher price stocks as well. Robert, I have the buttons chosen to buy the ask and sell the bid. I also had the auto send feature enabled. It's in the same list where you change your buttons. Click that little gear icon up there by the buttons. Be careful if you've never used auto send before, because when you click buy the ask, it's an instant entry. There's no confirmation anymore. When you click the sell button, you are immediately out. I don't use a stop. My stop is a mouse click. My entry is a mouse click. And they're only one click. In pre-market, you have to use limit orders. By buying the ask button and selling the bid and selecting the auto send, that is a limit order. I have mine all the way up to 4,000 shares. I have 50 selected. You don't need any more than 50. Everything that's moving is going to pull it up to the top of the screen. Hey, I can hear you guys on Discord. I'm going to disconnect you for a minute so I can unselect that option. Well, it was unchecked. I don't know what the reverb is I'm getting, but I can hear Discord on my speakers. You shouldn't be able to talk. I think I have bugs in my Discord. Even though you're displaying only 50 or 20, you're still monitoring the entire market. If anything moves below that limit, you're going to still get it. So that indicator, that script is in three different areas. So is it working correctly in the pre-market watch list? Are you getting any errors when you paste? Are you getting any errors when you paste the code? at the bottom of that window. If there's any errors down there, you're not copying the script correctly. No errors. Well, this is the first time I've heard of anybody having issue with it. If you want, after this session, this live stream, we can work on it. Just put me a notice over in the support tab on Discord and I'll contact you when I get availability. Greg, I'm proud of you. You spotted it before I did. You're learning. You look at my mouse. Actually, you can watch me do that when I change over in about 10 minutes. You'll be able to see me make the changes on the screen. Scary, I've got mine set to 0.0. Yours may still be on 100. You right click on the name up here, edit formula, and check this number right here. In pre-market, I like to run 0.0 because I want to know the moment a stock starts moving. The slightest movement I want to detect. To get them all to come to the top, all you have to do is click on the spike name until they come to the top. When the market opens, we're going to do some changes so that they work better with a lot more traders involved. I need to take a break here before market opens. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I have returned. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to change the screen over for market open. These stocks you see moving up, if you have a personal watch list, you should move them over to that personal watch list that also has the spike indicator. And you can monitor all of the ones that were moving in pre-market right at the open. Very important you keep track of the movers. You may have 5 or 10 sometimes, but only 1 or 2 may move. Okay, I'm going to make some changes here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my V spike. I'm going to move it to 100. Be careful you don't erase that .0. It's very important. And then you click apply and OK. I'm going to move this all stocks scan to the top. I'm going to change this all stocks to the gap and run. I'm going to come back up here to all stocks and I'm going to sort it by highest volume. It's going to separate these percent spikes, but we really only want to monitor the ones here. The top movers, the high performance stocks, the ones with the most volume. The gap and run's not going to activate until a couple minutes after market open. It's got to do some calculating to determine which ones opened higher and which ones may continue to run. And that's pretty much the market open setup. After the market calms down and you don't see a whole bunch of stocks percentages here, you can go back and sort by V spike and they'll continue to come back up to the top of the screen. But that's only after you don't see a huge list of V spikes. You have to let the market calm down before you make that change. Have about 2.5 minutes to go. Be careful at market open. I suggest letting it calm down. If you're brave enough to jump in on that first candle, more power to you. I usually avoid it. And actually, I'm avoiding it on a 5 minute chart. So I'm giving the market about 5 minutes to calm down. I'm going to change the 1 minute chart to 5 minutes. Because at market open, a 1 minute chart is way too volatile for me to make a good judgment call. I prefer the 5 minute at market open. You may like the 1 minute. You have to find your sweet spot. Just because I trade this way doesn't mean it's the right way for you. So if you have this indicator set up in several watch lists, when you change the percentages, it's globally changed. You're changing the script, so wherever you have it, it changes in every area. You don't have to go change each one of them. 38 seconds, 37. I'll be waiting for a pullback on the 5 minute chart before entering anything. I don't like chasing green candles to the top and losing my money at the end. So anything that spikes up, I'm waiting for it to pull back. Hopefully get a crossover of the two moving averages and a green arrow, and let's go. I'm watching my list here to see what's moving. Right now, everything's moving. That's why you kind of wait for market open. That one's too pricey. That one doesn't look good. You can click through them. You can also check the red ones. They could just be small pullbacks. You just saw it slack off a little bit. I'm not seeing much at the moment. I'm watching for crossovers and green arrows whenever I click on something. Slacking off a little bit. Only trying to find something moving in my direction. NVAX may make a move here. It had news earlier this morning. The news was rejected. A few people came back in. Let's see where it goes. Maybe one to keep an eye on, maybe not. I see everything's dying down. We can probably sort by V spike now. It's picking back up a little, but it will definitely calm down. If it's too soon for you, go back and change it back to highest volume. Starting to calm down. Only the strong survive. So if we have a strong mover, it's going to be up here at the top of the chart. They're always going to climb to the top. And you're sorted by V spike. They're going to climb to the top, the strongest ones. Kind of hard to chase them down with your mouse, though. Looking for anything that's growing green. Still having a few waves come in. It grows and shrinks and grows and shrinks. For high numbers, if you can find them. If this is too much activity for you, you may want to right click on it and go to 200 here. That's only 2% spike. You're not taking yourself out of range. I'm waiting on the gap and run to fire to see if anything is going to be really good. Looks like we're calming down. I'm sorting by high volume to see if I can pick up on anything. Pretty low spike percentages. Not seeing anything promising. Tesla pulling back pretty hard. That should tell you something. The gap and run scan is not firing. That tells me most of the stocks took a dip at open. Not seeing much of anything above 2%. You're looking at the entire market here, and we only have 20 spikes, 30 spikes. They're all with small numbers. Nothing jumping up to 2%, 5%, 10%. You can see some of the higher volume stocks are at the top, but they're not moving. Clicking on almost all the green ones, and they all have red candles where they pulled back. I do have a different setting on my gap and run. I'm still on the number that you said, though. We reduced it by 0.10, I believe. Let me hit my scan and see if it runs. I'm at 99.86. Price range $1 to 50. I show GRRR, but it's not popping up. I do see ESPR, but no spike. Money Mike, it's all in the video that's called Mastering the Pullback Strategy. Here is the link to the YouTube channel. If you don't have it, please subscribe, like the videos, and click the bell icon to be notified of future postings. Bunch of stuff disappearing. The market is still just undecided. Not seeing anything worth clicking on. Maybe that one. Looks like we're calming down to a flat market again. DraftKings making a little move here. That symbol is DKNG. Not enough volume for me to be interested in it. Slowly growing. I want to see a lot of people coming in. We do have a bullish spike in this candle. We do have the buyers are outnumbering the sellers. This could be a play, but I don't see it triggering my brain yet. Looks like it had a run up, a pull back at market open, and then it started running up. I probably missed it somewhere in the mess we had going at open. Invax could make a move here. They had news. I don't think the news was good. We had a good pullback. Maybe this is people having high hopes. Does not look good on the tick chart. Looks like we're pretty much steady here on the V spikes now. Not seeing anything standing out. Bunch of low percentage numbers. That one may do something. Doesn't look good. That one's pulling back. Looks like everything's pulling back. When I'm checking this gapping run, I'm also checking to see if the volume is moving. If it's not moving to my satisfaction, I'm not interested. There's another one. These gap and run stocks are pretty strong. This one has some volume moving, but it's only trading pennies from 672 to 675. I'm not interested in something that's not going to pay me good. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. We're breaking barriers. Getting close to that 9 o'clock hour where the market seems to die every day, except for a few stocks hang on. They may pop up later today. I don't sit around and wait for them. Some of you do. Have more power to you. Hope you. This is the VXX. I said if the market's coming down and you want to make at least something, as long as the SPY is falling, the VXX is going up. Since it's going up, that tells me the SPY is going down, and that's the reason for these conditions in the V spike. You see the VXX hit our gap and run. It's watching for stocks that continue to run. It finds those stocks by finding out if it opened up higher than it closed yesterday. That's one of the qualifications, and then it monitors volume to see if it continues to go. You don't make a whole lot of money off the VIX. If you have money that you just want to throw out there and make something, which I have done before, I managed to get $100 off about 3 hours, but it's better than zero. If you get into the VIX, you have to continually watch it, because if the SPY turns around and starts going up, this is going to start coming down. And VAX is still trying to move. It's not, doesn't have very much strength. There's Mara, one of my favorite plays. I've probably traded this stock 50 times in the since the beginning of the year, actually. One of my favorites to keep in the watch list. There is a possibility it could retest this high. It's actually not a high, but it's a pre-market high. We do not have a crossover, but we do have a spike. Sometimes you can break boundaries and take your chance. I try not to do that. On the 1 minute chart, we have a crossover. On the 5 minute chart, we do not. But we don't have any arrows on the 1 minute chart. The current bar volume is low. According to the 1 minute chart, it looks much higher on the 5 minute. Still continuing to go. I'm not going to play this stock today. I'm watching the 5 minute chart. It's just creeping too slow for me. I'll move it over to the 1 minute chart so you can see what I'm looking at on my other screen. We did get a crossover on the 1 minute chart. We did get an arrow, but the volume was so low I wasn't interested, and now it's pulling back. This would be considered a lower high. Not much of anything moving. I'm looking at the gap and run. The volumes are very low. Nothing spiking. Maybe that one, we can try it. It's only moving pennies at a time. 263 to 264 to 265. It's not my kind of play. We have a few more stocks in the gap and run. The VIX is still in the gap and run. Not enough volume and not enough volume. I'm looking right here. GLRY has a lot of volume but not moving very much in price. Only moving pennies. Looking like a no trade day for me. I don't care. My play was yesterday. I'm set for the week, but if something pops up, I'll definitely give it a shot. I don't try to rush plays. I don't jump in hoping for more. Everything has to meet these spikes, these moving averages, these arrows, this volume, the buyers, the sellers, and the spike. That's a sign of strength when all of them are green. All of these things you hear me say in due time, you will be same stuff. And I'm only saying them because I'm familiar with the setup. One day you'll be familiar with the setup. You're going to be looking for the same things I'm looking for. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. There's no need in getting disappointed. When it does happen, make sure you can get enough shares. Don't overtrade it. Just try to make something. We're in a bear market. Just remember, we're trying to buy something going up when everything else is going down. Captain, me and Parabolic, we're testing different numbers in that scan. When we find the right number, we'll probably do an update on it and put it out again. So yes, you are set at the default setting. It should be fine there. Mine is finding more stocks, but they're not good stocks. Yours is looking for the best stocks. So just because I have more doesn't mean they're better than what you're showing. And here's that 9 o'clock dead spot that we've been having every morning for a year. The only plays we get are the strong ones. I see the VIX is still in the gap and run. You see the VIX is still going up because the SPY, as you played this pullback, you probably could have picked up 40, 50 cents on the VIX. But you probably would have triggered out right here, so you may only got 15 or 20. That looks awful. Last bar volume on GRRR is pretty small. It's almost a million, but a good mix between sellers and buyers. It's not all buyers. Watching this V spike column just in case. I have some traders, actually friends, I could say, or customers from the construction company that are not on this YouTube stream. They're not on Discord. They just trade, and they set their volume spike to 1,000. They only want to know if a stock is moving if the volume spike has exceeded 10%, which would be 1,000. That's when they take interest in a stock. So they have very few plays, but good plays. The problem they're having is they always have that am I late feeling. But they are making money. I have to give them credit. They're trading their strategy. Yeah, Bob, I haven't traded. It's too weak for me. It's going the wrong direction. I could have played some penny stocks this morning. Just don't feel comfortable on those cheaper stocks. We did have about two or three, maybe four this morning. One of them was almost 100% gain. One was 140% gain. But they lost those gains quickly, and that's why I don't trade them. I have a scan set up in Discord that's called the 8 moving average crosses above the 21. I would advise you to put that on your computer, and it's going to look for every stock that the 8 crosses the 21. Not going to meet all criteria that we're looking at, but it's going to notify you each time there's a crossover of the 8 moving above the 21. If it's your first time here, I stopped the stream at 9:30. I have no desire to sit here past this time waiting for something that might pop up. So at 9:30 I will end the stream. If anybody has any questions, please post them in the chat while the market's dead. Once again, I'm going to inform you, you really need to watch all of the videos. If you don't watch them, you're going to come here and be lost. You won't know what we're doing. It's very important you learn how to work the system you're looking at. Master it. If you lose, don't change strategies. Stick with it. We all lose. We all win. Just limit your losses. If you're wrong, get out as fast as you can. It's okay to lose 20 bucks, but don't start losing hundreds and thousands. Get out. Hoping it turns around is the longest shot you can take. Protect your money. Get out. Better to take a small loss. Even if you're limited on the amount of trades you can make, take a small loss. If you have to wait an extra day to trade again, that's better than losing 500. You're going to find if you get out quick, if you're wrong, next one you click on, you'll make up that loss plus turn a profit. You never know from day to day, but with this setup, you have a lot greater chance of getting in the one that's going up rather than going down. I can't guarantee the direction, but I can give you the best case scenario by using these indicators. You may say it's not working for me. Well, it's not working for us either right now. Every now and then something pops up and we all make a little bit of money. Back in the day, I was the same person you are. Please turn around. I became successful by making mistakes. I'm trying to eliminate some of your mistakes. I remember watching a stock drop $100 and I said, no, I'm right, it's going up. And then it was 250. Before my stubbornness went away, I was in the hole $1,500 before I got out. It never happened again. What happens is when it starts dropping and you say, oh, I did something wrong, and then it'll turn around and it'll bump up a little bit more, and you'll say, okay, it's turning around. The next thing you know, a bigger red candle comes in, and you lose a little bit more, then it turns green again, and you think it's turning around green again. Don't play that game. Just get out right at the beginning. These gap and run scans look good, but the volume on them are so low it took them forever to get there. That won't happen in a bull market. You'll be seeing high volume spikes in here as well once this market turns around. Stocks in this scan will put some money in your pocket, but we got to be in a bull market. Right now, it's just pulling out the creepers that are going up. Captain, you sure can. Have a couple of them ahead of you, so I'll get to you as soon as I can. Captain, in all stocks, all I have is the price I want to trade and a minimum volume of 500,000. That's the only thing that's in that scan. Maybe it's just because your price selection is different than mine. I have mine set at $1 with no maximum, and I'm using average volume at 500,000 over a 50 period set today. I'll drag it up here on the screen so you can see it and you can match your numbers. That's what mine looks like. $1 to nothing, 50 period moving average, average volume. Actually, it looks like I have mine set to 5 million. I should lower that to 500,000. I didn't know I had that extra zero in there. We may even get more stocks in the live stream now. Well, I didn't see it move any. Still no spikes, still a dead market. That doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. It just means the market's not cooperating. We don't even have any stocks to short. It's just not moving. It's going flat. Captain, you don't even have to use average volume. You can just use volume at 500. Have to match mine. Everything's tuned for me. Tune yours the way you want to find stocks. You don't have to follow me with the way I set mine up. Play around with it till you're happy with the way yours is set up. So I'm sorted by V spike up here. Are you sorted by V spike? And I'm also sorted by volume. So click on highest volume and then reach over here and click your V spike to where this little arrow's pointing up. Captain, you got to keep in mind too that my scan may refresh at a different time than your scan refreshes. Yours may refresh before mine or mine before yours. I may have a new list that you don't have yet. We have about 5 more minutes to go before the stream ends. I appreciate everybody showing up this morning. Unfortunately, we didn't have a good play like yesterday, but those are rare. We did have some penny stocks shoot up earlier this morning in pre-market. Some money could have been made there for you penny stock players. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the videos, watch all the videos. Click the bell icon to be notified when I put out a new video. Join the Discord, join our community, and let's all grow together. And I didn't mention that everything is free. There is no charge. I'm not trying to get, that's not what we're all about. We are about teaching others how to trade in an easier way, how to learn the indicators, how to set up your charts, how to be profitable, how not to take a loss when possible. It's at the top of my list in my all stock scan. LCID. Maybe you're not sorted the same way I'm sorted. I don't know. I can't see your computer. About 1 more minute to go before the stream ends. Apple seems to be making a little move. Lucid has died. You are quite welcome, Captain. Okay, everyone, I appreciate you joining this morning. I'm going to end the stream here. We will try again tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I hope you'll join us again. And thank you very much, and God bless.